you know, nothing better to do, walking home. Do you think that they have the New Jersey Practitioner's Guide on a government website, on a .gov website, for a reason? Why doesn't anybody read the Practitioner's Guide? Dude, they used to call my grandfather a crazy old man and a liar. He died when I was really young, but they still do. I still hear my relatives say, your grandfather was such a liar. My grandfather was a practitioner. Created his own funding everywhere he went. In the public, he was a painter. He painted glove boxes for General Motors at Trenton. Trenton had a General Motors line company where they put together cars and put out cars. Because what the world takes, Trenton makes. Now it's what Trenton makes, or what the world gives, Trenton takes. Some shit like that. And it's just fucked up. You hear a lot of people say all kinds of fucked up shit. You're right. Everywhere in the United States, a city can be bad. Do you know how easy it is to make the sound of a gunshot? Do you know what that instills in fear? False evidence appeared real. Do you know how where false evidence is? The sound. Hi, Bubby. House of Ely. Time of Scott. Entity Dan IL. Thank you, Nubis. Do you know all that shit? What the fuck was I talking about? Sorry, I had to qualify the dog. Guardians to the other side. Do you know why they were given the dogs, the heads of dogs? Look, when we transmitted through the time of man, okay? Because like Mesopotamia, the loss of Mesopotamia was the loss of the freeness of man, of the beings on this planet. There's heathens, there's Hebrews, right? You're down with that, right? You understand what a Hebrew is. He who has been brewed by this place eats the land, makes the egg, generates the spark that creates the turning of the gate. I don't know how many there is. I've only ever seen five tards that turn, 5 units that spin at times. I don't know how many there is. I have no idea. There could be millions. I never looked up that high. I think in awe and shock when I come to those points in my life where I see things over certain people. Things they say to me, it's just weird, right? So, do you think in all-knowing and all-powerful and all-seeing, and that what an ohm is, what the primordial colors are, how they operate them in plain sight and no one cares to notice? Do you have any thought process on this? Alright, well, and do you think that maybe if you were gonna contract to procure something, fulfill the journeyman to the contract of procuring whatever item, instrument, or whatever, to procure the item, and end up with your process in the hands of the recorder, in the itemized county clerk's office, under the filed received date timestamp. Get your date in court. Send out your stuff to the opposing party. And know what's going to happen? Do you have a counter for all that? Do you think they know it's your nom de gore they're fighting with? It's an adversarial position, right? Everything is an adversarial position. Everything in the world is. the science you use to create the thoughts around your mind that make the things that go into your eyes, that see into your pineal gland, that you see with. Because there's more optical nerves in your pineal gland than in your eyes. So what are you seeing with? Obviously not the eye. If there's more receptors of sight in the pineal gland, and that stands at the first brain, the temple, right? And you do all this, and they come at the adversarial position of, what is this? Is this some kind of movement process? Is this some kind of, what do you think you're going to say? What would you say? This process can't be done. Well, did they neglect to send my contract back for recontract? Did they neglect to send my instrument back for a default and correction? Did they neglect to do anything? Is this not how all things are done? If you really think about it, the principle of doing that, administrative process, or any process that you're administrating from your lordship, entourage, mentor, kingship, containment, vessel, attunement, anything like that, right? Low trees. Low trees in the woods. No, it's in the woods part. But anytime you do something from your kingdom, and you do it the correct process, everything has to be done from your kingdom. The feeble man starts a war in a foreign land. The feeble man starts a war in a foreign land. You can't attain the hills quick enough, because anyone who owns the land knows the territory. You can't obtain the high ground. High ground wins the game. It at least gives you a standing point beyond the lowland. Because if you can see everything coming at you, you know what I mean? High ground usually wins. Until you have so much adversity dead on the beach that you can protect yourself with the onslaught that they're giving to get someone in close enough to terrorize it and take it out. Right? Now, all my life I've spent terrorized. Not in fear, just in torment, because I always thought, I'm going there, and I'm going to kick its ass. Whether I learned it in language, whether I learned it in anything I did, I've always left to go there and do it. And that was the stupidest fucking shit to do. Make them come get you. They need to have orders. They have to have barking orders. They're a military system. They operate in a GSA, a Government Standards Form, an OMB, Office of Budget and Management. They are a corporate structure aboard a ship called the Vessel of America in the land of Africa, West Africa, north if you're headed up towards Canada and Alaska. That's more North Africa than West Africa. This is West Africa. You have to see the connection between the carve out between Italy and where England is, and the break off. When the key was taken, the land was divided. The key is just on Earth now. It is in color, and it is on Earth now. And the color is yellow. Do you know how dark you can draw yellow? Black. It's the only color you can really ever draw all by itself. Black. Keep drawing over yellow. See if you don't go black. Blue will go black. It won't look right. Red will go black. But it always looks like something died there. Yellow will go black. Or you can have yellow as light as see-through. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird how we've forgotten who we are. It's weird that it took me this long to understand that. It's weird for me not to have realized that they're demanding payment in a form and I can't pay it in that form. It's fucking weird, dude. Because it's not a USD. It's not. It's a Federal Reserve note. It says it at the top. It classifies what it is. It's not a United States dollar. It's not a Federal Reserve note. It's a promise to pay you later. It says on there it's a promise. This is a promise for all debts, public and private. It's a promise. A promissory note. House of Ely, Tom Scott. Entity, Dan I.L. Qualify all Nubis. You're supposed to say Nubis, Nubis. Hear me. You're entering the realm of checks and balances. Nubis has always been a check and a balance. They're guardians of things. That's why they are that they are. Just like the birds. Birds have been here forever too. The cats, the Sphinx, the man beast. The cat is a man trapped. No matter the words he whines or says, always turn out to be the wrong. But everything he thinks in your mind is all the truth in his song. You know it's a weird thing? Like if I take fans, right? Like electric fans. Ooh, I can do it with microwaves sometimes. If it's a long microwave and it does it, if it's like defrosted meat, I can hear voices. I don't think I explained that correctly. I hear people talking. I don't hear voices telling me to do something. I hear people that don't know I'm there talking. It's really weird. I take two fans and I put one at a wall and one facing it. It picks up. I think I'm hearing different languages. It depends on the angles of the fans. Where I'm pulling the electric impulse from. It's weird. Like, sometimes I see in static. Maybe I've eaten a lot of LSD and I'm fucked up in the head. I really don't know. But most of the time I'm pretty much normal except for the terrapin of this tree over here. Look at this tree. You gotta see. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh, check this tree out. This tree always vibrates at night. It's not gonna make a liar out of me because I've shown other people. It wouldn't turn. Oh, no, you can't see the tree. Well, the light's on. This tree, when the light goes out, oh, you won't be able to see it at all. It's some kind of weird pine tree, but it lets things in. There's like material that comes in from it in a shape. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am. I don't feel crazy. I tell you, I was walking this one time in the city, right? I was like, I gotta get a pack of cigarettes. I didn't know where I was in the city, right? This is like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago or something. It might have been longer than that. It might be like 8 years ago. I was walking along, right? And I went way too many turns. I couldn't remember. And you know how they go at an angle and then straight and then at an angle and then straight and you turn around? I got turned around, right? And I end up at this bodega. And all these brothers out front. This really hot black girl inside, right? So I go inside, I give my cigarettes. I'm like, damn, I know why he's all standing out here guarding, right? And the dude is like, wow, what'd you see? I seen love. And he just started laughing. They were like, check this white boy. But anyway, right? So I proceed to walk down the road and I turn the wrong way. I got this cat. He looks kind of like Spanish. He's following me with a limp. And this dude across the street, he's talking to some material. It's not visible, but it's not a different color than the atmosphere. It's just like translucent in it. And he's talking to this dude, right? Or this thing. And all of a sudden, I keep walking, I get ahead of him. And all of a sudden, he comes over to me and shakes my hand. And he said he told me to do that. And he walked away. I'm like, what the fuck? And I got this dude with a limp behind me. He's walking with a bad limp, and he's keeping up. And I can walk at a pretty good clip. I mean, and maybe it's not that fast to you people, but like I walk like 8 miles an hour. That's a lot to me. 8, 9 miles an hour is a lot. I can walk, dude. I've been walking for years. And I do have a license. I just prefer to walk, and I'm stuck in my vessel. But this dude, and I was ready to turn in this furniture store, and these dudes with the mattresses came out, and they were like, "What's this guy doing to you?" And I looked over, and I didn't know they were talking to me. And they stopped this guy behind me, and I don't know what happened, but these guys were like big, brawny, mattress moving looking motherfuckers. And, you know, I'm a little skinny dude, man. I'm 155 pounds, you know what I mean? Soaking wet. And I turned the corner, and I didn't see that dude again, though. And they stopped him. See, I think all different people see all different things, and nobody talks about it because we're indoctrinated into believing what they told us to do. You know, if that is guh, and they say green, and you say guh, and they say green, how long do you think they can do that? They're getting paid to do that. How long do you think you sit there and go guh? Till you say green. All right, fine, it's green. I want to go home. I want to go home, it's green. You win, that's green. And you do that to everybody in life, and eventually it becomes normal. It becomes normal to change who you are. When did it become normal to be changed? When did it become normal for people to think one person's insight is not a reliever of something you haven't seen yet or something you've already been? Why does direct talk without contractions seem like commands and not speech? The same thing had happened to me in Beverly, except I walked up to this guy and I was like, thank that man for me. I think I said, thank that being for me. I will be off on my way. And as I turned around, he said, you're much obliged. I don't know, weird shit like that just, and I was perfectly sober, perfectly nothing on, nothing with nothing. And I don't even know if people really exist. I don't know what I'm seeing. What one man sees is what another man doesn't. What another man doesn't is what another man has to see. I mean, somebody could just see like a blip and a hanging thing. So everybody could see something different. I have no idea. Just crazy thoughts. Just remember, there is no process without your kingdom starting it. There is no start without your kingdom being impressed upon in some way as a threat, duress, or coercion in a system of kingdoms that don't know their kings. And no one's being released. The value of the dollar is dropping because the plummet of the dollar is going up. The value of the instant of people here is plummeting because the value of other countries' things are going up. They're done with us. You did a good reign, but we're done with you. Your freedom suggestions didn't work. They're contesting to us in a frame of war and not leaving their countries by justifying an increase in manual spirit to attain the same items you attained 10 years ago. Because the value of the instant gold has not changed. It still costs the same as it did in the beginning of time. Your labor. The amount of labor is justified by the government, the people who control your mind. Govern, control, mind, mint. It's not the value of the item that's changed. It's the value of what you do for it. and the values you give towards it, and what value is left at the end of the day. Do you value yourself, or do you value the items you receive? And things that have been hidden from us have been hidden forever. And they're starting to come to fruition. And people all over the place are seeing them. It's a sad world. But remember to value yourself more than the items you have. Because the items you have could be made by oneself. Have a good night.